record on this. All right. Good evening. Irena here for More Healing and Empowerment.
Hey, Koi from Array of Gratitude.
Here for another episode of our Moon Magic. And today is the full moon, well, not today, but we're talking about the full moon in Libra. So let's get started and talk about it. What do you know about it, Koi?
Okay. Oh man, I just went out of my notes. Hold on, y'all. Okay, here it is.
As she's looking, do you see this lovely shirt? And we have lovely mugs, guys. Like,
Oh yeah.
wait, where is it? Okay, it's just a phase. So, just wanted to point out the gear and stuff. So, all right, what you got, Clay?
All right. So we are in this opposing energy of the season of Aries, right? And when we have our full moon, it's usually the opposing sign, which would be Libra. And like you said, the full moon is within a few days. We're tapping into this energy. And what I wrote down was some topics that we're highlighting during this full moon. Now, Libra is the sign of the scales, justice. There's a word, not making choices, but discernment and like having their own morals. Um, but what I picked up on this moon when I was doing my research and just tapping into it intuitively, I started noticing that there was like this energy. I didn't really tap in to see like the signs, but like I felt like there was a lot of beauty and love and like art and culture that's coming to the surface. Like in a way that shines from within though, instead of looking outside from around us, like in our environment,
Mhm.
really like finding that within, like deeper self-love, in a way that's like, okay, I love myself regardless of how I look right now.
Yeah.
Like I love certain things that I deemed ugly or negative or things that were just like, and then it's like seeing them with a new frame, like a pair of glasses, or just like feeling into that, and just embracing it a little bit deeper. And it was reminding me of like the divine feminine energy. It reminded me of Venus too, which is very much like that energy to art, beauty, and this aspect of like receptivity. When I talk about divine feminine, I'm not really talking about the gender. I'm talking about the energy of receptivity, intuitive, creative, and that all comes from within. Um, Also, again, being open to receive guidance, ideas, or whatever else you need to create from the heart. Um, Even though I did pick up for my chakra cards, I got the sacral chakra,
Mhm.
but it's, when we talk about chakras, there can be different connections with the chakra. And from its opposite end, the sacral and the throat work very well together. But I don't know, it's just like loving energy. Maybe because Libra deals with partnerships and relationships as well. I'm not sure.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. It
You
has lots to
know,
do with like the relationships. Yeah.
yeah, like I noticed a lot of people talking about that because of, Libra's regular energy. But like when I was tapping in, it was like, this is a little bit different. But Libra actually is ruled by Venus too. So that kind of makes sense. Um, Being
Mm.
open to a new perspective, possibly closing a chapter, season in your life. It kind of was reminding me of like the Aries new moon in a way. Like really just that authenticity and saying like yes, like being open to be like, hey, I'm ready to learn something new, instead of showing up like, I already know this, even though something might feel the same, like, because actually something in my life seems very similar of a road that I've been down before, and I'm just like, really, spirit, do I have to go down this road again? But it's like not shutting it down like, oh, I know all this, right? It's like, no, I'm here because there's something else that I'm going to learn. Like you can watch a movie 100 times, and if you're open to learn, you'll see something new every time, right? So that brings me to the sacral chakra. where's my little thing? I don't know if y'all can see, but the sacral chakra is dealing with the sensuality, right? With emotions, sexuality, um, pleasure, and feeling good, right?
Mhm.
And this affirmation says, my sexuality creates sacred love and love of self.
Oof.
And then on the opposite side, right, it says, I need people to desire me and feel like I'm their everything.
Mm.
So I don't know what's igniting with these words, but I'm going to leave it at that and pass the baton to you.
Oh my goodness, it is so weird that that is happening right now. So some of the things that I wrote down, and just to go over, so I made a chart about the chakras a while ago that I have to doctor up and make it cute, but it talks about when when the sacral chakra is healthy and balanced. It's
Yes.
about having good connections with others, enjoying new experiences, being independent, sexual pleasure, self-discipline, healthy boundaries and relationships, being okay with change. So those are the things that indicate about like the sacral chakra being healthy and balanced. Now, when it comes to what we're talking about here for this full moon, the Aries and Libra polarity is a relationship axis. So here it's where Aries represents self and Libra represents others. Just gonna
Yes.
the person as we continue. And then here it talks about striking a balance between meeting the needs of ourselves while attending to the needs of others.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you mentioned boundaries, mentioned, making sure that it's not one-sided, but we do need other people. It can't just be all about someone else, nor can it be all about us. It's about that balance. So if you think about the scales, it's got to be balanced. So yeah, one other thing, you might have a strong need for balance and harmony right now, desire to keep things nice. You may want to keep things nice rather than venturing into fundamental questions in order to not disturb the peace, but we have to kind of do things differently to disturb the peace to really get to where we want to get to and experience what we want to experience. So don't be afraid of such happening, is what it says.
Yes, thank you. Especially that last part reminds me of Libras because I've had a lot of Libras in my life. My dad is a Libra actually, and I've had some friends. A lot of them were male Libras, but anyway, um, Libra's qualities can be the peacemaker, and sometimes, what did you say? I can't say verbatim, but it's almost like sometimes we do have to shake things up. Sometimes we do have to disrupt the peace in
Yep.
order to change things. And like sometimes the peacemaker can do that, but other times, more than few peacemakers are like trying to avoid confrontation, and then it's just like, what's going on here? Like, are we going to sit here or like is something like, are we going to come to a resolution?
Yeah. And so it just coming up that the card is perfect for this. Like the sacral chakra is completely perfect for this. It's about ourselves and others, relationships, connection, but making sure that we do set some boundaries so there's not all one way or the other. Um,
Mhm.
and and taking a look, it's a lot about like the relationships and making sure that we take a look at them to see what's working, what's not, what we need to do for different, or what we might want to try different. But paying attention, but knowing that it's about, so while Aries is about self assertion and courage, Libra is about compromise, negotiating, and balance. And so it's just taking a look at both of those, like the complete opposite in a way, and finding how to make them both make sense.
Absolutely. And these cards that like when I was pulling my chakra card, I pulled these other cards, and one was confusion and one was creation, which I found funny as well because where we at? Like confusion. Um, there's always a process to creativity, and there will be confusion, right? There will be chaos in the midst of coming up with ideas and bringing them into your reality and like formality to ground it, right? And this creation card is like seeing like the light. I don't know, this card always reminds me of like nature, but like she's holding something and there's like a full moon in the background. I don't know if y'all see all the detail,
Yeah.
but like the full it reminds me of like full moon is about releasing a lot of times. And
Mhm.
it's about releasing because it's about making room for that new moon, that new energy. Um Full moon is like the culmination of things
Yep.
and shining that light on it, like, hey, what's not been working for us, what's been hiding out in the shadows, and like, yeah, staying quiet or still or non-confrontational,
Mhm.
like going back to what you said, Irena, like shaking some stuff up so
Mhm.
we can actually really see things for what they are and try to really like move past that, find solutions.
Yeah. And I did the card of the month for just my social media. And like you said, and you mentioned it, like this kind of goes right in hand. So the card was the divine guidance. Search for meaning in life, consider an alternate approach. Surround yourself with wise teachers and friends. So the people around us while also within us. So like it's the balance of both.
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's coming together like usual. Yeah. I know usually you have the journal prompts after I do
Yes.
the reading, I guess.
Yes. Do you want me to put
Um
it up first though?
I mean, we could, because it just made me think like you had a lot of good questions to really kind of get those gears turning and, reflect on this Libra energy here.
Mhm. Yeah, so I'll read some of the questions, just kind of go through them. How
Okay.
can I create balance in my life in order to meet my own needs and the needs of others? What's stopping you from experiencing peace and joy? What do I need in order to connect and communicate better with myself and others? What boundaries do I need to set? How can I do so assertively? And then, of course, I am setting the intention too.
Yeah. Those full moons, like this is why we do what we do and come together to set intentions and truly create, new things in our life and make room for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Just take a moment to sit with this, looking at these questions. And welcome, Jennifer. Hope so glad to have you here with us. So, do you want to give the reading as we people have the questions?
Yeah. Um, we're going to talk about like what's highlighting, what's need to be released.
Mhm.
And I'm like sitting here thinking too, like at one of your journal prompts, like what do I need in order to connect?
Mm.
Um, Knowing your needs is very important, and it ties into your intentions. Cause like a lot of times you can be like, hey, you need to release that or you need to let go. And then sometimes you're like, how? But let alone like what? I know like in my beginning of my like healing journey, a lot of times I kept hearing that like release. I'm like, I don't know what to release, And I wasn't sitting with myself long enough, but I just think that sometimes the more intentional, or even specific, it's reminding me like when I do readings, I ask the person like, what are you inquiring? What is the question here, right? Um, we want to be clear that I'm clear on what your intentions are, but I need you to be present and aware of, your needs or your inquiry as well.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess let's talk about what collectively is being like illuminated to release. Okay, that just came right out. Wow. I got all straight cups here. So I have the 10 of cups, I have the ace of cups, and I have the 7 of cups. So I feel like there's a lot of things. Spring has sprung, right? And there's like a lot of energy that we're all feeling right now. And it's giving us excitement on wanting to do these things that we maybe couldn't do because of winter or because
Yeah.
of other, I don't know, thought patterns or just anything, right, in general that we're like, oh, I don't think I could do. But now for some reason, right, this spring equinox came. A lot of our seasons have shifted, and a lot of us, I feel like, are feeling more into our emotions, right? But feeling like that happiness and that joy of the new season when spring comes and the sun and all that, right?
Mhm.
But there's also like, I don't want to say catch 22, but it's almost like um remember, with light casts a shadow as well, right? So we have to understand, like, okay, don't get overwhelmed. Don't bite off more than you can chew, right? That balance, again, those scales. Understanding, like, hey, how do we bring balance into these things? Am I really just getting excited because I'm just feeling the new energy, or is this something that I really want to do, right?
Mm.
10 of Cups, remember your goals too. Don't get sidetracked by, because like Seven of Cups talks about illusions, um being sidetracked. There's another word that I am thinking of, um distracted, right? um don't don't get distracted, because like some of us too, I don't know if anyone here in our circle actually, but like some of us may have been really working behind the scenes the past season in the winter, right? Really focusing on the goals and really saying like, hey, I really want to gather everything that I need, right? For when the time comes, then it's time to actually like hit the ground running. And that just came to me because it's just like, again, don't get distracted, because a lot of things are coming. A lot of flowers that are seasonal like sometimes sprout in the springtime, right? But um just because everything is sprouting doesn't mean that like you can do all at once. um or just because everything is like alive doesn't mean that things are still crossed off the list, maybe, if that's making sense. It's like I feel like I'm reaching for something, but then at the same time, some of us don't have the clarity that we need actually still, right? And when things start popping up, it's like, oh, I'll just grab this, because you might be impatient, right? Or um just not balanced, right? Just not seeing like, okay, are my ducks in order? Do I have everything that I need, right? So I think I just want to clarify a little bit here, just to go into to further this message about knowing our heart's desires, remembering our goals to begin with. Because sometimes, I don't know, like I'll speak from personal experience. Like sometimes it's like, I've been working on this for I don't know how long. Like, come on, when is the sign? When is my time, right? And then you kind of, as soon as you let go and surrender, then things start coming into culmination, or things start popping up, and then you're like, yes, like what is this? Like I'm ready. But me personally, like sometimes it's like, remember why you did this. Let
Yeah.
me get one more card. Ooh, all these cards are coming out. Okay. Yeah, this is about taking action and just remembering. Um, Synchronicities too. So like pay attention to certain signs if you're confused, like the Seven of Cups, right? Like, or overwhelmed. There's a need to kind of just ground in your energy. Be open, like open your crown, open your higher self, and just say, revert back to the intentions, right? Or set certain intentions. but also be aware of synchronicities, signs, and um, that feeling within your heart space when you know it's like, okay, I feel balance. I'm ready to do this. Um, this feels right. You know, like it's just reminding me of the scales again with balanced emotions.
Mhm.
You can actually, I don't know, Irina, help me out here because I know you're good with the words. Because it's like there's like something on the tip of my tongue that's not coming out, but it's just like, ah, I don't, it's not confidence, but it's not clarity either, but it's something that just brings it to the center, basically, what I'm trying to say.
If you because if you're saying confidence, I mean, I don't know if you're thinking of maybe courage then.
Mm,
Because I'm just thinking of what we've been talking about is like you said, balance and having all sides. So I wish I knew. I wish I could read your mind right now and think of
I
what
wish
you're looking.
too, but like I don't know if anything that came up for you with what I was saying so far, I guess, because I don't know, it's something that's it's not those words, but I don't know.
Well, I know that this time is also about heightened emotion. So you started off with talking about it and like having emotions. All the cards were cups, and cups is about emotions, right? And so
Exactly.
just having all the emotions and just figuring out ways to balance them is probably the thing. And but knowing that don't get rid of them. Don't push them to the side because they're going to help you. Because sometimes it might seem like a lot, right? It might seem like a lot of things are a lot of feelings are happening and it might feel like too much, and just know that go with it. And sometimes it's good to just embrace it a little bit because you're going to either it can
Mm.
help us to achieve the things that we want to achieve.
Absolutely. Okay, I remember what I was gonna say. It's not exactly what I was gonna say, but it's like when you said saying both sides, and going back to that flower analogy, right? Um, there's energy here that is allowing us to do new things that we may never have done before, but it's still something that we need to discover and we need to move forward with. Because when we have new things, it's the unknown territory, which can cause fear. That's still an emotion, right? And you don't want the fear to like engulf you, to like wrap around and like freeze you from actually taking action. You want that fear to actually motivate you and be like, okay, not today. I'm going to move forward, you know. There's this saying that fear in a small bottle is instincts, and instincts are there for you to remind you like, hey, hello, like be aware, you know, don't be all willy-nilly out here, but also um listen to your intuition that guides you and that already knows what you need to do. um that taps more into your soul and spirit. So
Mhm.
um yeah, both sides of the fence. It's both sides of the coins that we're looking at here right now.
Yeah,
Um, but if I were to say like what do we need to release? Um, just release that going back to confusion. Like if you feel confused, when in doubt, sit it out,
mhm.
write it out. Look at both sides, pros and cons, right? And trust your gut, trust your gut, trust your heart, and look for those signs, because at the end of the day when you ask yourself questions just like these journal prompts, you may not be able to answer them right away, but just having that open heart, having that pure intention of, hey, I want to learn new things, trust and believe the answers will definitely come for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Jennifer, I saw that your question. Yes, I will make sure that these are posted so you can have them. So
So enough with me like talking and talking and figuring some things out here. How is everybody else feeling about, like, did anything come up for you as I read the cards and even what Irena said, like what we've been saying from the beginning, like what's coming up for you guys now? You guys got the floor.
Well, before they go, I'm going to say something so you can, I know that unless you're ready, Jules, you can share. I just wasn't sure. I was just thinking, I know right now for me in terms of relationships and emotions, that was like I'm focused a little bit more about letting myself feel what I feel and not trying to control it so much. But also being aware with what's going on within me and around me to help me with my relationships. So I just felt like everything was, I was actually reading on an app that I had, and it was talking about me and my history in relationships. And it was just telling all the truths and how there is a lack of balance. There's a lack of boundaries. There's been things that I needed to pay attention to, and I'm doing things intentionally different now with whoever I'm dating. And so it was really interesting of not going too fast, but also like knowing that it's okay to feel what I'm feeling, and that I'm just like chill, but also enjoy. It's like that balance, right? So
I know what
that's
you
the
mean.
thing that
Yeah,
came up for me.
absolutely.
I'll pop in to continue on the balance theme. I've been getting a lot of comments like, "Oh, you seem so calm. You're like taking things really well in stride and stuff like that." And I think I'm leading with this balance within myself because it started years ago, really. Like I would see my husband accomplish something with the same like outcome as I would, but I would do it stress and anxiety ridden, and he would be calm and chill. And I'm like, okay, my formula is wrong because like I don't want to feel this way. How do I like bring myself to the middle? Like, do I hold um things over myself that I have to do? Like, who said I have to do it this way? Or, who said I have to do it at all? Like, I'm holding these requirements for myself. But if I come to more of a center, which is what I see as my balance, it helps me be like more stable, more at peace. And then
Mhm.
I exude that. Like people are commenting, and I didn't even realize, like, oh yeah, I am calm. Yeah, you're right. But now it's my everyday, so it doesn't even seem like something remarkable.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
And one thing that I was thinking of is when you were saying it was it wasn't even that it was bad that you were doing it like it's not like he's good and you're bad, like it's not like that, but to know I don't want to feel like this, that's why I'm calling it bad, right? Like that's not, it's not good for me. It's not like some people thrive that way, but you're like, this isn't work because it worked for you at some point. That's the thing, it worked
Absolutely.
until it didn't anymore, and so now it's not working for me. I don't actually like the way this makes me feel. I need to do something different.
Yeah, and that's just taking initiative to knowing that you want change and actually like figuring out how to do it, like what's the best way, what's the best process for you,
Mhm.
which is absolutely great.
Absolutely, absolutely. Jennifer, is there anything that you want to share before we go on to the next part of our evening? And if not, it's completely okay. I just want to make sure you have the floor. No, thank you.
We call
Okay.
we call people out in here. No, I'm just playing.
Now, don't worry, you don't have to come and say anything. Thank you for saying, she said no, okay. So I guess, is there anything else you want to add before we get to the sound healing?
No, it's just reminding me like I just love how everybody has put, their perspective in there, and it just reminds me of being in the center is the most powerful thing because like you can see all angles if you, turn and do that 360.
Yeah.
And that's just a great place to start. Because I was just sitting there thinking about relationships with business for me. There's new things and like a lot of other things popping up, and I have to always remember to boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. That's something that I'm forever like learning. And something kind of similar like what you were saying, Irena, like, it's okay to feel this way. Ride the wave and see where it goes.
One other line that I saw here is it's the balance between independence and autonomy and dependence and companionability. So
Hmm.
like being by ourselves, being independent, doing all the things on our own versus working with other people and being with other people and engaging with them. So balance.
Absolutely.
Alright. On that note, let me just do this because I liked how it was just me on the screen for the sound healing. So
Are you ready? Should we unmute now?
I'll mute. If you want to get rid of your camera so that you're not seen, that is up to you. And we are going to begin. Okay. As you sit quietly, your eyes are probably closed. If you can do so, take a few deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Feeling every single piece of your body begin to become more and more relaxed. Taking deep breaths in through your nose, exhaling out through your mouth. Remember the intention that you set for today, whatever it is for you. Just remember that. Breathing in, breathing out evenly throughout the meditation. Place one hand on your heart and one on your belly. Take a deep breath in, holding it at the top for as long as feels comfortable to you. Then exhale with a sigh. Take another deep breath in, holding it at the top. Take another gasp and let it go. Roll your shoulders, wiggle your fingers and toes. Coming back to. Slowly opening your eyes and seeing what's around you before you turn your camera back on. Okay. How'd that feel, ladies? Hope it felt good.
That felt good.
Hold on, let me turn that off. Awesome. Felt good.
Mm-hmm.
The low tones are very amazing. They hit different. And so the bowls that I used today were for the sacral chakra.
Okay.
And then the heart chakra, because I felt like it made sense. And then the high tone that we did have was the high C, which is the miracle tone. So it's the special one.
The low tones were like, they do hit different. Like, because I don't know, y'all. Like, I felt like I was seeing a lot more things. It was very visual for me to this time around.
Love it.
It was different.
That's what I want. I love it. I did one recently. Oh, when we were together the last time. And I was actually truly able to see the colors, and the color that came up for me was purple. So sometimes it depends on what's being played, but also what you need and what.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's what it comes up with. So you might have saw orange, you might have saw what colors are green, or
Oh
you might
no,
have
I
saw.
wasn't seeing colors. I was seeing visual things. It's like sometimes when I meditate, I don't know, y'all, but that's just what comes to me because I'm very visual. And it seemed like it opened up like the clear audience, clear whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm so tripped up on words today. But I don't
Yeah.
even know what they meant, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was just different this time for me.
Good.
So but if anyone else wants to say anything, please.
Jennifer said sometimes crystal bowls hurt my head. I enjoy the low tones also. Did this hurt your head this time? If it did, that's okay. I understand because it can be a lot. But I hope it didn't. Hope you don't have a headache now. That would be nice. I don't want that to be the case.
Maybe it's that I just want to say, Jennifer, maybe it opens your crown chakra a lot more too. So that could be, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just wanted to put that out there.
That sometimes it can, I don't want to put it on anyone, but sometimes the person playing the bowls cannot realize that sometimes it's just too loud. And so sometimes I'm going around making sure that I can sense it's getting louder, and it might be too much for some people because I'm sitting here, it's going to be too much for me too. And so I don't like to have it so loud. So, well, wonderful. I'm glad that it wasn't too much for you. I will keep that in mind as well as I continue with this. So
Some people have sensitive ears too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely. So I guess my last thing is, do you have anything that you are doing coming up that you want your audience, want everyone to know of? Is there anything that you want to put out there? I know for me, I am putting out there that my journals are still for sale on Amazon. There'll be links on my website as well as on social media. Real quick, so Jennifer, you said you like the metal bowls better. I have one of them. That's my next thing when I can get down the line to get a whole set of those, because I think those are really awesome. They have a different way of a different vibe. I also want gongs, so that's coming up. So yeah, I'm selling my journals. I'm also on Etsy selling worksheets that can be downloaded. So we'll make sure we put all those links so that you guys can see them. The one, there's going to be 2 different worksheets as of right now, still beginning, but the one worksheet is on old and new beliefs, getting rid of the old so we can bring in the new. I don't remember the other one right now because I'm blanking, because that's what happens sometimes, but they'll be up there on my Etsy, and I'll make sure we put that in there for you guys.
Yes. And so I help people craft their business and specialize and offer for their business. And I have a Patreon page that allows soul-led business owners, spiritual entrepreneurs to come together and get exclusive content for the making of their business and ways to self-care and prevent burnout. So if anyone's interested in that, anybody watching the replay too, if they're interested in that. And I'm also still here for personal readings as well. So, yep, that's what I got going on, everyone.
So we will be doing this again in 2 weeks for the new moon in, is it Aries?
Taurus, and
Taurus.
it's actually going to be an eclipse. We're going to be entering the eclipse season, so it's going to be some intense energies, y'all. So
So we're gonna see how this goes, but we want to say thank you all for being here. Remember, follow us on social media. You'll see all the accounts, all of the things, and we hope to see you again next time.
yes, thank
Take
you,
care.
everyone. Good night.
Good night, everyone.